Alright, hello, welcome to the first part of the spring semester exam review. This is going to cover the inverses question, as well as topics 8 and topic 9. If you need to see the other topics, please see the other parts of this video. Starting with the inverses, biggest thing you need to know about inverses is which functions are inverses of what. So starting with the left side with a logarithm, logarithms are opposite of exponential. Logarithms and exponentials are inverses of each other. Next, going to square roots and quadratics are inverses of each other. And then lastly, this one's probably the easiest, cubic and cube root are inverses of each other. Okay? These are the only ones you need to focus on for the semester exam. And then just remember to solve inverses. Step 1 is to switch x and y in your equation, and then solve for y. Okay? No matter what type of function you start out with, if you do these two steps, you can then get to the inverse. Alright, jumping into topic 8, we're going to start with question number 2. It says the total of two polynomial expressions is 5x to the fourth plus 2x cubed plus 7x squared plus 5x plus 3. And then it says one of the parts is 3x to the fourth plus 2x cubed plus 4x minus 7. And it's saying what is the other part needed. So saying a total implies that we have that two things were added together to get this total. One of the things they added was this part right here. And so we're saying this part plus some unknown part got us this total. So to work backwards, we are going to subtract. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 5x to the fourth plus 2x cubed plus 7x squared plus 5x plus 3. And I am going to subtract the 3x to the fourth plus 2x cubed. I'm going to go ahead and put a plus 0x squared because that's a missing component. Alright, we do not have an x squared in here, but just keep it lined up. Plus 4x minus 7. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract each column. Okay, you can also distribute this negative if you want for the sake of space. I can't do that on this example, but if you wanted to do that, you could. So I'm going to take 5x to the fourth, and I am subtracting 3x to the fourth, 5 minus 3, that's going to get us a 2x to the fourth. Then I'm taking a positive 2x cubed, and we're subtracting a positive 2x cubed. Those are just going to cancel out, because 2 minus 2 is 0. Then I'm going to take 7x squared and I'm subtracting, remember, 0. We didn't actually have an x squared in this part, so 7 minus nothing is going to be still 7x squared. Then I'm going to take 5x, and I'm subtracting a positive 4x. 5 minus 4 is 1, so we're just going to say plus x. And then finally, we have a positive 3, and we are subtracting a negative 7. So subtracting a negative is the same as adding a positive, so this is the same as basically 3 plus 7, so we're going to say plus 10. So to put it all together, we have 2x to the fourth plus 7x squared plus x plus 10 as the other part that is needed. Looking at number 3, we're going to multiply these two polynomials shown. So this is where you can either do the box method or you can do the distributive method. I'm going to do the distributive method. If you want to recall the box method, go back and look at the topic 8 videos. So I'm going to start by distributing the x to all three parts of my second polynomial. So x times x squared is going to get me x cubed. X times negative 2x is going to be negative 2x squared. And then x times 6 is going to be 6x. Now that I'm done with x, I'm going to move on to 7, and again, distribute it to all three parts of my second polynomial. So 7 times x squared is going to be 7x squared. 7 times negative 2x is going to be negative 14x. And then finally, 7 times 6 is a positive 42. And now I'm just going to combine like terms. I'm going to start with largest exponent going down. So x cubed has nothing to combine with, so he's just going to stay x cubed. Negative 2x squared is going to combine with the 7x squared. So negative 2, positive 7, we're going to end up with a positive 5x squared. And then positive 6x is going to combine with negative 14x. That's going to get us a negative 8x. And then positive 42 has nothing to combine with, so he's just going to drop down positive 42. And this right here is the product of your two polynomials. Moving to number 4 and number 6, we're going to start by factoring x cubed minus 64. So this is where you need to remember your sum and difference of cubes. Okay, sum slash difference of cubes. And this is where you need to remember SOAP. Okay, S stands for same, O stands for opposite. Excuse me. And then AP is always positive. Okay. So with this abbreviation, we're going to first figure out what is the cube root of x cubed, and then what is the cube root of 64. So the cube root of x cubed, that's going to get us our A value, because sum and difference of cubes is A cubed plus or minus B cubed. So the cube root of x cubed, that's just going to be x. Cube root of 64, if you don't remember your perfect cubes, you can always hit math 4 in your calculator. And then 64, that is 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out with, it's going to be the same sign. So this is a negative, so we're going to say x minus 4, because it's going to be a minus b this time, because this is a difference of cubes. Then we're going to, next our term is a squared, so x squared. And then we're going to do the opposite sign. So the opposite of a negative is a plus. And then we're going to have, excuse me, we're going to have 2 times a times b. And so it's going to be 2 times 4 times x. 2 times 4 is 8 times x is 8x. And then always positive. This last one is always a plus. And then we're going to have b squared. So 4 squared is 16. And this is the factors of our difference of cubes. Looking at number 6, it's asking us what the quotient is of x cubed plus 4x plus x minus 6 divided by x plus 2. I'm going to use synthetic division for this. If you prefer long division, please see the topic 8.5 video over long division. So to do synthetic division, I have to set x plus 2 equal to 0 and solve for x. So subtract 2. We get x equals negative 2. So I'm going to put negative 2 in my little box. And then going along, I do not have any gaps in this one, thankfully. So the coefficient of x cubed is 1. For x squared, it is 4. For x, it is 1. And then lastly, we have a negative 6 as our constant. Remember, we bring down the first coefficient. So in this case, we're going to bring down that 1. And then we're going to multiply 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. And then we're going to add the column. So 4 plus negative 2 is going to be positive 2. And then we're going to have positive 2 times negative 2. Again, multiply again. And we're going to get a negative 4. Add the column. 1 plus negative 4 is negative 3. Multiply diagonally. So negative 2 times negative 3 is a positive 6. Negative 6 plus positive 6 is 0. So remember, this last column is our remainder, which means since it's 0, we don't have 1. So our quotient is going to be, remember, we start 1 powered down from what we started with. We started with an x cubed, so that means our quotient is going to start with x squared. So this is going to be a 1x squared, positive 2, so plus 2x, and then minus 3. That is my quotient. All right. Moving on to 5 and 6. So the linear factors of this polynomial. So you could try to factor this if you want, but the easiest way is to type it in to y equals. So x cubed plus 3x squared minus 13x minus 15. Go to our graph, and remember, the factors are in the same spots as your x-intercepts. Okay? So you see, I have 1, 2, 3 x-intercepts. So that means I have 3 linear factors of this polynomial. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go to my table, because it does look like all 3 of these are going to be whole numbers. And so I'm just going to go find, I'm going to go find where y is equal to 0. Because remember, y equals 0 at an x-intercept. So we have -5, 0. We have, I see, -1, 0. And I see 3, 0. Now, that does not mean my factors are x minus 5, x minus 1, and x plus 3. Remember, to go from a factor, so say x equals -5, to go from a 0, or x-intercept, to a factor, you have to get it equal to 0. So we're going to add this 5 over to the other side, and this is going to become x plus 5. So that is one factor. That -1, same method. That means we're going to have x plus 1. And then a +3 means our factor is going to be x minus 3. So these right here are my factors for this polynomial. The -5, the -1, 3, those are those are my zeros of this polynomial. So just make sure you don't get factors and zeros mixed up. There is a slight difference between the two. Number 7, it's asking what the remainder is. So again, that means we are just going to be dividing. Again, I'm going to use synthetic division. If you want to see long division, go watch the 8-5 video. So setting x plus 3 equal to 0, we get x is equal to -3. So I'm going to take -3, and then I am missing a power right here. I am missing that x squared, so we're going to have to insert a 0 there. So x to the 4th, the coefficient is 3. For x cubed, it's 2. We are missing x squared, so I'm going to put in a 0, and then -1, and then 3. I'm going to bring down that very first coefficient, so we're going to bring down the 3. 3 times -3 is going to be -9. Add it with the 2, we get -7. -7 times -3 is going to be a +21, plus 0, still +21. 21 times -3, ooh, we're getting big numbers here. We're going to get -63, plus a -1 is going to be -64. -64 times -3 is going to be a +192, plus 3 is 195. Now remember, your last column is your remainder, so your remainder here is 195. It's a big number. All right, lastly with topic 9, this is only 9-4. You don't really have to focus on 9-1 for this exam. Excuse me. So for number 8, we are just simply solving this equation right here, and that's an exponent of 1/3. I know that showed up a little fuzzy. So first, we're going to remember that any number, so x2, we're going to say m over n. Some rational exponent is the same as the nth root of x to that m power. Okay? So in this case, instead of 5x plus 2 to the 1/3, this is going to be 5x plus 2, and it's going to be the cube root equals 3. So we're going to cube both sides to get rid of that cube root. And so we're going to get 5x plus 2 equals 27. So we're going to then subtract 2. And so then we get 5x is equal to 25. We're going to divide each side by 5. We get x equals 5. Simple as that. So yeah, the biggest step is remembering this guy right here. So write this down on your paper. Looking at number 9, it just wants us to evaluate. That is 625. That's a 3/4 exponent. I know, again, it's a little fuzzy on here. Sorry about that, guys. So to evaluate it, you use your calculator. You're going to do 625. Exponent, it's to the 3/4, so 3/4. Your answer is 125. It is as simple as that. Literally just plug and chug. That's going to conclude part 1 of this video. If you have any questions over this, ask your teacher. Part 2 of this video is going to be all of topic 10. We will see you then.